This is a high-level overview of the company's business plan. Our Tier 2 Regulation A offering qualified in September 1st, 2016. Although we believe our assumptions and projections are correct, that may not prove to be the case. BST operates as a lean medical device design specifier. We plan to offer 3 successfully prototyped products, 2 for the cosmetic liposuction market on the left and EVL on the right for the bariatric treatment market. I'm Bob Cusin and serve as CEO. I created the power assisted liposuction or PAL market with my very first liposuction patent, and I founded BST to develop the more advanced tissue aspiration designs. Mentor captured approximately 1/4 of the estimated $500 million market it created. I'm a Cornell trained, board certified plastic and general surgeon. My published peer reviewed research studies included animal and human clinical studies in which I was principal investigator. My skill sets include an MBA from Columbia Business School, 3 bar admissions, and 10 security licenses. 2/3 of the U.S. population is overweight, and 1/3 is frankly obese. An estimated 2.1 billion people about the globe are obese. $2 trillion was spent on obesity-related diseases in 2015. 14 billion was spent on cosmetic procedures in 2015. We target both markets with products offering substantially more perceived benefits than current alternatives. The CT scan on the left showing intra-abdominal visceral or belly fat is that of a hypertensive male. Aortic calcifications and nephrosclerosis indicate he is at a risk for diabetes and heart attack. Lipo can't help him, but he is a good candidate for EVL. An obese female on the right has a larger waist size, but she is much healthier because her fat is outside her abdomen. Her subcutaneous excess makes her an ideal candidate for Airbrush 2E liposuction. Airbrush 3 and Airbrush 2E are cosmetic devices for small and medium to large liposuction, respectively. They will be marketed to plastic and cosmetic surgeons, dermatologists, and gynecologists who perform liposuction. EVL on the right is a treatment device to carry out endoscopic visceral lipectomy, or EVL, to address obesity, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes. It will be marketed to general and bariatric surgeons who perform endoscopic procedures. I created the power-assisted liposuction, or PAL market, with the patent for a single cannula, short stroke, externally vibrating device as illustrated in the animation on the left. But I founded BST on the more versatile concept of a reciprocating tube within a tube, long stroke aspirator depicted on the right. It removes the drudgery and trauma of tissue aspiration by not requiring the surgeon to manually stroke the cannula back and forth thousands of times per hour, literally unleashing the artist in a surgeon on a liposuction procedure. Our liposuction products are priced competitively and offer significant advantages over current market competitors in control, speed, and safety. Visceral fat is responsible for all the morbidities of obesity, sleep apnea, gastric reflux, hypertension, cancers, autoimmune diseases, and most importantly, type 2 diabetes. It shortens your life and it reduces its quality. Current surgical treatments are either restrictive or bypass in nature. They starve visceral fat to work. They stop the patient from eating too much or make food wind up in the toilet undigested. They pose serious surgical risks and have permanent lifestyle compromising consequences. And the patients eventually reach a weight loss plateau and start to regain. EVL now makes it possible to remove visceral fat safely and easily. And unlike current alternatives, there will be no cutting into the bowel or stomach, no rearranging the body's alimentary plumbing, and no foreign bodies left behind. As proposed, about 10 pounds of belly fat will be removed permanently in an outpatient procedure. The patients are expected to get off the operating table with a lower blood pressure and a lower blood sugar, have more energy, and then lose an expected multiple of 7 to 10 times that weight in body fat in the ensuing 4 to 6 months. The procedure can be repeated until an ideal weight is obtained. Since removed fat cells don't grow back, should the patient continue to overeat, the fat should accumulate subcutaneously without adverse metabolic consequences. Endoscopic visceral lipectomy, or EVL, is a patented procedure that uses BST's patented EVL device and is performed laparoscopically through small incisions in the belly. The patients that would benefit from this procedure are known to be at a high risk for type 2 diabetes. The small bowel mesentery of an obese patient is thickened with metabolically noxious fat. The surgeon can target central areas of the mesentery. Using the EVL device, the surgeon can safely and easily remove this fat without to and fro stroking. EVL's patented tube within a tube device is gentler by design, as indicated in this slow motion video. Samples are taken to determine which fat is the metabolically most detrimental and should be removed first. An EVL procedure is expected to remove 4 liters or 8 to 10 pounds of fat, resulting in a lower risk of diabetes. It is anticipated that patients will lose 7 to 10 times that amount in body fat within 4 to 6 months after the procedure. Priority is placed on bringing our EVL device to market within 1 year. The initial indication will be identical to our old one, removing soft tissue and fluid from the body in general surgical procedures, including suction lipoplasty for aesthetic body contouring. We'll be there approximately 42 weeks from funding. We will immediately do 25 patients and apply for a modified 510(k) to add the indication of including visceral lipectomy. Approximately 2 years from funding, we anticipate having done sufficient patients to support efficacy claims for visceral lipectomy to be reimbursed by insurance companies as a treatment of obesity, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes. I'll use my personal contacts to facilitate placing first systems with key opinion leaders at major hospitals where efficacy studies can be performed. Cooperative advertising promotions and incentives will be coupled with rifle barrel advertising in trade magazines and shows. Method patents allow brand-based referrals and the licensing of branded treatment centers that can cross-sell EVL, liposuction, and fat autografting. Bottom-up projections are based solely on on-label sales. EVL will be marketed only as a liposuction device until regulatory approvals are obtained, and sufficient patients could have been done to support efficacy claims and obtain insurance reimbursement. It gets us to $2 million EBITDA approximately 24 months from funding. As an idea of market potential and how conservative these projections are, just treating 1% of the 20 million diagnosed type 2 diabetics in the US alone would yield 104 million net income, and that diagnosed type 2 diabetic market grows by approximately $750 million every year. We're offering approximately 1/5 of the company for $5 million in this Tier 2 Regulation A offering. We plan to list first on OTCQX and then move to NASDAQ. 1/3 of the funds will go towards production and regulatory expenses with an estimated time to market of 12 months. 1/3 will go to corporate infrastructure, and the other third will go to promotion and marketing. The market is humongous and literally burgeoning. Bariatric devices topped $1.4 billion in 2014 with a 10% growth rate. Obesity-related disease expenditures reached $2 trillion in the same year. Strong IP protection and proven revenue-generating ability remove enterprise risk. To remove execution risk, we will outsource to a large experienced OEM manufacturer who has given us an estimated 42-week development timeline for a proposal. We'll emulate Lap-Band's successful subscription-based model and have the potential for cross-selling branded centers. Management has established connections to the doctors who are the key opinion leaders and a depth of professional, regulatory, and licensing experience. Thank you for listening.